Tracey from Tea Time with Tracey and Friends. I just put cream on my face, so I'm all shiny. Anyways, I'm doing my April TBR game. I haven't put any videos out except for my last month's TBR. It's been crazy, but I won't get into that. But before I do this is deck of TBR. I got this inspiration of this game from Becca Books and Bujo. I'll put, here she is and her link down below. Very cool young lady. Anyways, I'll just quickly go over what I read last month. And I'm not going to get into them, but just, I completed my TBR. I'll say that. Oh, just a minute. Okay, anyways, I read a bag of bones. I think this was because I got a Joker. I got 2 Jokers last month, for goodness sakes. I listened to this on Everand. It was available on there. I do the premium, so I get 3 free audios a month. Don't get to keep the audios, but I get 3 audios. I do have the paperback, but I would not have had time to do that. Anyways, I enjoyed it. I'd say it's about a 4-star. It's kind of a ghosty story, and I enjoyed it. I read The Winter People by Jennifer McCammon. This too was kind of a ghosty story. It has 2 timelines, and it was my first Jennifer McCammon book. It's not scary, but it was very atmospheric, and I had a good time reading it. I was supposed to read a book with an omega in it, and this is the one I was going to read, but I have been deep cleaning my house the past few days. I'm going to have a whole house full in about a week and a half. Like, I already have a house full, but a whole house full. And I just want to deep clean areas that I don't generally do, so I've been listening to audiobooks. This would not have taken me very long to read. However, I listened to a free Audio Plus book by Evelyn Flood called Omega Found. I just finished that yesterday. I listened to the whole book yesterday when I was deep cleaning the upstairs bathroom and this landing and the steps and blah, blah, blah. Anyways, I had a good time reading it. It had spice in it, not as much spice as some Omega books, but there was plenty of spice in that book. And it was free on Audio Plus. So I didn't get to this one. I will some point, but I didn't get to it because I just don't have time to sit down to read paperback books at different times of the month. I did read, this was for another Joker, a book that intimidated me. This is book 2 in the Off Balance series by Lucia Franco. It's Execution. The first book is Balance, I think. Or Off Balance? I forget. Anyways, it's a taboo romance, gymnast coach, gymnast, big age gap, inappropriateness, and I enjoyed it. It's not my favorite kind of series. Like, I've kind of outgrown these kind of taboo-y books, but I'm having a good time reading it. Yeah. Anyways, 3.5, 4-star. I had a good time. And I have the whole series. I will end up reading it all eventually. The Thief by J.R. Ward. This is book whatever in the Black Dagger Brotherhood series, and I read this. It was a good time. Vampires, lessers, people. It's too big to explain, but I'm working my way through this series, and I got one more off that list. And Pestilence by Laura Thalassis. This is my first book by her, and it's the first book in the 4 Horsemen series or something like that. Yes. Pestilence, one of the horsemen, and a woman. Romance. Kind of dark. Kind of messed up, to be honest, when you think of it. But I had a good time, and I have the whole series, so I will end up reading the whole series. So I started a new series this month. Another book, I was supposed to read an org book, and I was going to read one on Kindle, which was only 83 pages, which I could have easily read that, but I've just been so busy. I read a much longer book on audio, on Audible, and again, another free audio. It's called Candy for My Org Boss. It's not super long. It was about a 5 or 6 hour audiobook, but I listened to it a bit faster. And spicy, kind of fake romance, but turns into, you know, something a little more tangible. It was okay. I didn't mind it. Like a 3-star. Good time. I think it's the beginning of a series. I don't care if I ever finish that series, but who knows? You never know. Anyways, that's it. So we're gonna play this game. I have big plans coming up for the month of April, and I don't know how many I'm actually going to get to. And then at the end of the month, close to the end of the month, I'm going on a trip. I'll be gone for about 10 days, and it's going to be international, and I don't want to carry physical books, so I'm going to try to get Kindle or audiobooks. Especially, I do have paperback books. I'll probably bring 1 or 2 paperback books with me. So what I do, I shuffle this, take a card, say, I'll just use this as an ace. Ace, king, queener, jack. Ace is randomize your shelf, but that's not a good example. 8 of hearts. So I go to hearts and go down to 8. This goes from 2 to 10. 8. And that says Kindle. I take that off, go find a Kindle book, and I have tubs here that I replace that prompt, and then I put this back into the deck, and then we do it over again. And I usually do 10 books. So that's what I'm going to try to do. I'll put that ace back in there. If I get 3 of the same number or suit, like ace, king, queen, or jack, I'll add another roll. And that's what we're going to do. But I need to get my paper. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I have a big tub here. I can't move my chair good. I'm going to shuffle this up 3 times, and we're just going to start. If I end up getting a joker, I got 2 last month. Ooh! Let's try that again. Okay, so what I'm going to do, you're supposed to read, I have... for bomb book, if I get a joker, I have beefcake there because I did a beefcake challenge last year. You're supposed to read a book that intimidates you or you've been putting off. So we'll see. Magda and Boris are right here. They're waiting for their supper. Okay. 8 of diamonds. So over to diamonds, down to 8, most recent. Oh. 8 of diamonds. So I'm just going to keep track. I got 1 8. The most recent book I would have got was an audio, so let me look. Okay, the most recent audiobook I got was just the other day because I buy audios to continue series that I have bought previous that I haven't read yet because I'm a little crazy. I got Hidden Truth by, oh, I forget to wrote what her name was. Okay, it was Neva, Neva, Alta. Anyways, I got book 3 in the Perfectly Imperfect series. There's 11 books in this series. I have 4 of the books out of the 11. I have the first 3 and then some random one down in the series. I just buy them when they get on sale because whatever. It's a mafia romance, apparently. I didn't even know what it was about. But since I haven't even started the series, I'm going to jump to book 1, which is Painted Scars, which follows Nina, who is a seductress, charming but cold-blooded killer, though. But there was a deal. She had to marry the Bratva, the head of the Bratva in Russia, and she feels trapped and she can't wait to get away from him. And she can convince anybody that they're maritally in blissful circumstances. They love each other and stuff like that. But really she doesn't, and he knows what she's doing and what she's like. She thinks that she's playing him, but he already knows who she is and what she does, but he's not ready to let her go. It's only a 6-hour and 25-minute audiobook. That's cool with me. So that's my first book. I'm starting a new series. So there. Okay, so I'm going to, that's my most recent. This one is, I need to, I need this one. So I put the used, most recent in here. Pick a new one from here. Won a Pulitzer Prize. Okay. All right. Yeah, I still am on a mission to get this house deep cleaned. So I'm filming this on the 26th of March, and I'm actually started a new book today. It was on my wheel of books that it was on a TBR last month or the month before. It's a Dot Hutchins book, The Butterfly Garden, because I went to town today and I didn't have a book to listen to while I was driving, and I always listen to books when I'm driving. It just doesn't feel right if I don't. So I started that one. So if I can squeeze that into something, I know technically, well, it's still March, so I don't know what I'm talking about. Was that 3? I don't know. The King. Boris pick. Oh my goodness, I have Boris and Magda now. When I made this game, we didn't have Magda. There they are. Boris is the big one. He's my big boy. Oh, Boris. Huh? I gotta pick a couple of books. I'll just use placement books, but I'll pick something from my audio library or Kindle library. And that way, again, I'm traveling and I don't want to carry a bunch of books if I can help it. So I gotta see what I... Okay, I haven't even put the treats down yet. Now Magda's here. I'll have to give her a treat. I have them on the piano. Anyways, I want to show these guys what books I picked. So here's Schrader's Chord. I do have this in audio too. It was on a sale. I think they have daily deals. I have this, oh, for heaven's sakes, Dog Snouts. Starter Villain. I don't really know what this is about. I think the cat is the boss. I don't know. I can get this on Kindle though, so, but it's not a big book. I don't think it's horror. I think it's just fantasy maybe. I don't know. This one, I really like Alice in Wonderland retellings, and I believe that's what this is. There is no audio for this, but I can get it on Kindle, and I really want to read it. So we'll see. I want to read all of these, honestly. I know some people pick one that you don't want to read. I want books that I want to read. So let me get a treat. Hockey nets and everything. Okay, put treats there. They've just seen the bus go by, so I'm going to see who gets a treat first. All right, Boris. Here, pick one. Oh, it's going to be that one. Magda, you might as well get one of those treats. There's one in the other book. Here, Magda. There you go. Oh, you dropped it, you ding-dong. I guess I'm reading that one. Okay, Starter Villain by John Scalzi. This is about, I forget what the man's name is, for heaven's sakes, Charlie. His uncle dies, and his uncle was a supervillain, but he leaves the supervillain business to Charlie, who's not a villain at all. He's just a normal guy with his cat, and he goes to his uncle's island with a volcano and everything, like total out of a movie supervillain. And he doesn't know how to be a supervillain, but he has spy cats and the unionized dolphins, it said. And there's actually, his uncle had bad people after them. Now they're after Charlie. And it's a dog-eat-dog world. In a dog-eat-dog world, be a cat, is what it says. So, meet the new boss. So anyways, it should be a fun time, I think. I don't know. We'll see. So this is going to go back in. And King. 3 times. Nine of Diamonds. So diamonds, radical justice. Okay. I know what I want to read. What is it? White Fragility. I was asking some of my family members to tell me a book to read, and one of them mentioned this. I don't have the book. I think my husband might have it. I don't know. I don't know who it's by. Here's a picture. So it's a nonfiction book, I believe. I didn't even read the back of it, but it's about racial inequality, and I don't know if it's a memoir. I really don't know anything about it, to be honest. I do know it falls in that umbrella of racial justice, and I can probably get it on Kindle, maybe audio. If he has the paperback, I'll read the paperback. Yeah. Yes, that's what I told my family to, so I have a list of books I get the chance to read. If you want me to read any book, and I know that's one. So, wait, I'm just going to write it down so I don't forget. Fragility. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so that was a 9. I'm going to put this back in the tub. Wow. Get one out of here to replace it. Addiction. Another one fell out. I'll just put that in. Something to do with addiction. All right. 3 times. I put that king back in here. I must have. Five of Hearts. So 5 of Hearts, a Fae. Fae. I know I got some in audio. I'm gonna see. Oh, I forgot to mention a book I read this month. Was the 3rd book in the Zodiac Academy series. It was called The Reckoning by Carolyn Peckham and Suzanne Valenti. I think that's what their names are. Anyways, I'm going to read book 4 in that series. I forget how many books are in the series, but I'm trying to work my way through series, and in that world, there are fae, there are vampires, there are Pegasus, there are a whole bunch of different things, so I can continue on. And I have that whole series in audio, and they're kind of big books, but that's okay. I don't mind that. The 4th book is called Shadow Princess, Zodiac Academy. And it's just about young, they're not young, well, they're in a university for magical people, beings. There's political families, there's different factions, and some of them are coming into their power, and it follows these 2 sisters that they grew up in the human world and didn't know they were fae royalty until they were taken there. They had been bouncing around from foster homes, having a really terrible time in the human world, but when they were brought to this fae world universe, it turns out they're the next successors of the whole realm. They don't really care about that. They don't want that, but they just want their inheritance because they were living in poverty for years and abuse for years. So there was 4 young men that were supposed to be the successors because the 2 lost sisters were lost and they never thought they would ever come back. So they were right on the cusp of becoming the highest in the land. But then these 2 sisters show up and they're not happy about it. And it goes from there. That's a very basic explanation of where this all started. But I'm going to read book 4 in that series, and it's audio, so good. So now I am going to put Faye back in. I will write down 5. Get this. Combine 2 prompts. Okay. I'll put this back in, shuffle it 3 times, and take the next card, the top card. 9 of clubs. I have 1 9 already, but I get one more. So clubs, 9, miscellaneous. I have a file. I have my whole audio library. I have a ton of audio. I'm kind of ridiculous about it. I have a file for miscellaneous. A lot of them are nonfiction or they're specific to one. It doesn't go into any kind of genre. I'm gonna pick one from there. Okay, I'm going to pick a Alan Watts book. It's called Just So. I wrote down a little blurb about it. It says it's an odyssey into the cosmic web of connection, play, and true pleasure. If God asked you of the perfect world, would it be free of suffering and drama or full of surprise and delight? It's philosophy. It's a talk. He has a very nice voice to connect to. I've listened to some of his seminars and different things. Anyways, I have this. I've never listened to it. It's like 10 hours. When it's a book like this, I do not speed it up. I like to listen to it at the regular speed. I connect with it more. Nonfiction, it's harder to speed up to listen to because I don't know. It just is for me. Anyways, I'm excited about this. So I have like kind of 2 nonfictions so far, which is very odd for me, but that's okay. White Fragility and Just So by Alan Watts. And that's good. So that goes in here. Miscellaneous. I've got to put a new one on there. Secret Society. Okay. Good enough. Oh. Did I write that down? Yes, I did. Okay. This goes back in here. King. That's another dog pick. I'll try to get Magda to pick a book now. I am putting that Alice in Wonderland book back in the other ones, but I'll pick 2 other ones. I might end up squeezing that Alice in Wonderland one in this month. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, watch out, Boris. The treats aren't there yet. So there's that Alice in Wonderland one, Into Madness by Al Radin. The Hollow Kind by Andy Davison, which is a haunted house. A woman inherits a relative's house and she runs away from her not very nice husband to live there, I guess, I think. Boris. And Imaginary Friend by Stephen Chbosky. I believe that a little boy goes missing in the woods but comes back and he's not quite the same or something. I'm not sure. Anyways, I gotta get some treats on here. Okay, just a second. Stay. No. Let me turn you guys around. Gotta keep moving them back because, hey, no. Okay, back up. Okay, pick the book. Go ahead. All right, The Hollow Kind. Magda, you gotta get one while you can. He'll just eat them all. All right, The Hollow Kind. Okay, I just read the inside of it. Yeah, it's a mother fleeing her violent husband in the middle of the night. She flees with her 11-year-old son. She had got word that she inherited her long lost great-grandfather's farmyard, which has like 1,000 acres of pine forest, and she thinks that's going to be the perfect refuge to hide from her violent husband. She thinks it's beautiful. Her son can see what she can't see. There's something dark and lurking in the woods, and their arrival is about to wake it up, and has the ability to destroy families, I guess. Family history, disturbing, cosmic horror. Yeah, there's like a panther or a bear. A bear, must be a bear on there. I'm in the mood for something a little more horrific. I don't mind romance, like I really don't, but yeah, that's good. That's a good one. That's a good choice for us. Thank you. So I don't need to replace anything because those stay up there all the time. I wrote down it, and 3 more times. 3 more shovels. A 10 of diamonds. Diamonds 10. A 4-word title. 4-word title. I'm just going to put that back in here now. I'm going to see what I can find. Okay, I had a little hard time finding. I didn't look at my audio. I was looking downstairs on my shelf. I should have at least one. And this isn't very big. It's Terry Pratchett, the first book in the Discworld series. The Color of Magic. There's 4 words. Just over 250 pages. 253. I thought this would be a nice little fantasy book. I read The Hogfather, not last Christmas, but the Christmas before. Loved it. And that's one of the books in the Hogfather or Discworld series. And I was on a mission to pick up, thrift this series. I haven't got them all, but I do have the first few books in the series. And this is the first one. And what I remember of the Hogfather, like, it's kind of hard to follow because there's a whole bunch of different beings in it. Welcome to the Discworld, a parallel time and a place that sounds very much like our own, but looks completely different. It's so true. Because it's a flat circular world that sits on the back of 4 elephants who hurtle through space, balanced on a giant star turtle. It's kind of crazy and funny and quirky. I can't explain what this is about. I don't know what it's about, but it's a well-loved series. It's been around for ages, and I'm excited to jump into the first book and eventually work my way through this series. This is one I've been wanting to start, but just never got around to it, and now I will. So The Color of Magic. If any of you have read this series, let me know. I'm excited. So that was 10 of diamonds, so a 10. So I'm going to put this away. I've got to count how many books I have. I don't know. Themes of power, abuse of authority, a takeover, conqueror, a hero, whatever. So I have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, 3 more. If I get one more 9, I'll have to, and one more king, I'll have to do another one. A 4 of clubs. Clubs, the first in a series. Oh my goodness. I already have 2 first in the series. Can I switch it out? No, I have umpteen series. I'm just going to put this back in now while I think of it. And I'll write down 4 when I think of it. First in a series. Jeepers, just a minute. Okay, I'm going to pick First Touch. This is a romance, I think suspense. I started to read this like very little, 2 or 3, maybe 4 years ago, and never continued on. Not that I didn't like it, I just got busy with life and kids and whatever else was going on in my life at that time. Anyways, it's a duet. I do have the second book. I forget what the second book is called, but what I just read, because I forgot what this was about. This was first published in 2015, I think. So it's I don't think it's old, but to young people these days, they think 2015 is old. That seems like yesterday to me. Anyways, this follows 2 friends that were really, really super friends. They used to party together. They used to get into trouble together, but then they, you know, they were super close. And anyways, one of the friends starts going with this very wealthy, shady millionaire guy with dirty dealings. And they have a fallout, like the two girls have a fallout, but they always said, because they grew up through hard times, that if there's ever a life-threatening, dangerous situation, they can always call each other with a cryptic, I forget what the word is, or sentence or phrase or something like that. Anyways, it's been quite a long time since she heard from her old ex-best friend, but out of the blue, the other friend, who is, you know, starting to thrive and gets successful in whatever career she's in, I forget. She gets a cryptic voicemail message from her ex-best friend that she hasn't heard from in years, and that throws her for a loop, because why the hell is she calling me? And then it's this message that triggers, oh my God, she's in trouble. And so she is determined to find her old friend. I think her friend's Amber, or maybe she's Amber. Emily and Amber, I think. Amber's her friend. I think she's Emily. But in order to get close to this millionaire shady guy who has shady business dealings, she has to pretend to be into him and get close to him, because he's hard to get to. So she's going to act like a ditzy young woman who likes to party and play, if you know what I mean. But really, she's on the mission to try to find her friend. And there's 2 books. And I've had this series for a long time. I bought it secondhand. It's a withdrawn library book. And by Laurelyn Page. I thought, why not? Why not? It's the first in a series. I consider 2 books a series, even though it's a duet. I think there's only 2 books. Yeah, that one. So, perfect. I've had that for so long. It's high time I read it. And I have no reason to not, like, it's really not that I didn't like what I was reading. I just got busy. Billionaire. See, I've kind of outgrown billionaire books too. However, I have some, so I need to read them. Nobody should be a billionaire. Anyways, a 4. Did I write that down? I don't think I did. There. All right. So that's 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. One more. One more. Oh, 8 of clubs. 8. A self-help book. I'm gonna have to get another friggin' nonfiction book. I don't mind his self-help books, but I haven't read so many nonfiction books in 1 month, I don't think ever. All right, so 8. Yeah, that's okay. All right. Let me see. Okay, I think what I'm gonna read is The Daily Stoic by Ryan Holiday. It's a book. There's passages, daily passages. I read February and I've read March. It goes through the whole year, and I will continue to read it in April, the daily things. When I first started that book, it was in February, and I had to backtrack and read from January. I didn't have to, but I would consider that self-help. It's just little quotes and explanations of different philosophers from ancient times, from a long time ago or not so long ago, and how to implement that philosophy into your life, to learn to live in the present and understand you can't change other people, you can't change other circumstances, you can only change yourself. So it's a pragmatic kind of way of dealing with daily things that you're used to spending your energy on other things that you have no control over that anyway, so don't waste your energy. Anyways, I think that's what I'm going to do. I do have the physical book downstairs, and I don't consider that to be a strenuous read. I read a little bit each day and think about it, and that's a bit of a self-help book, I believe, and I'm going to be reading it anyways. And I'm already doing lots of journaling with other things. This would be a perfect thing to journal on, to do it daily, which I do daily journaling anyways. However, I'm not going to start another journal. I already have 4 or 5 journals on the go right now, but I do enjoy reading the daily passages, and it's like a morning slap in the face sometimes. So that's the one that I'm going to do for self-help. So that's 10 books, I believe. All right, so we'll reset the board for next month. I will probably be doing next month's game earlier, just because I will be leaving. And though I'm not leaving the first part of April, I will be leaving the last part of April. So some of these books I might be taking with me, but I still want to do a May TBR because I will need more books for the rest of the month of May when I get back. So I don't need to shuffle these. I need to get a thing for that. Yeah, that's good. That's good. I'll just get another thing to put on the board for next month, so we'll be all ready. Alien. I've got different alien books, alien romances, or some different sci-fi ones. Okay, let me get all the books together. Okay, I'm only counting 9 books. I'm probably forgetting one. I think I did 10. I'm just going to leave it as is, because if I have more room to read, if I gobble these all up super fast, which I might not. I might not finish them all. Whatever. So for audio and Kindle books, I have Painted Scars by Neva Alta, the first book in the Perfectly Imperfect series. White Fragility by, I am so sorry, I forget who the author is. I just know that's a book one of my family members mentioned, for a nonfiction racial justice book. Then for a miscellaneous book, I picked Just So by Alan Watts, which is a philosophy book. For a forward title, I picked The Color of Magic, the first book in the Terry Pratchett Discworld series. And then for self-help, I'm doing The Daily Stoic. And then for the first in the series, did I just say that? Not the first. I don't know. First in a series, First Touch by Laura Lynn Page. I don't think I've ever read anything by her. I forget. Oh, there's the Terry Pratchett book. There. Boris picked The Hollow Kind by Andy Davison. Kind of a haunted grounds, violent husband kind of book. And Starter Villain by John Scalzi, which is, I don't know the genre. People say it, something PG. I don't know. Maybe it's fantasy. I'm not sure. But it sounds like a fun time. Am I forgetting any? I must be. I don't know. Anyways, that's my TBR for the month of April, which now I can know what I'm doing when I run out of The Butterfly Garden by Dot Hutchison. I can work on some new books because I hate driving without a book playing in my face. I gotta love it. And having a lot of these on audio will make all the stress that I'm going through right now much easier, much easier. So with that, I'm going to say peace, love, and happiness today and every single day. Please like, share, and subscribe if you so choose, but if not, that's okay too. I still love you. I still want all the happiness in the world for each and every one of you out there. I certainly do. I really honest and truly do. Yes, I do. So, okay guys, with that, I'm going to say have a good night or have a good morning, and I will see you next time. Bye.